Hi everyone, welcome back to Parashah Pantry. This is going to be our final edition together as this now completes a full year of filming Sweet Tastes of Torah. Whether it be Parashah Popsicles or Parashah Pantry, we have made it through a full year of Torah together. This is also a special week because we are starting a new book of Torah, the book of Numbers. So this week's Torah portion is called Bamidbar, which is also the name in Hebrew of the book of Numbers. I want to look at the end of chapter 1, the beginning of chapter 2, when the Israelites received the instructions for how they are to encamp or live around the Mishkan, the tabernacle, or the tent of meeting. God instructs the tribes that they each have a place where they are to be according to the location of the Mishkan. And we hear the word machaneh, camp, which is actually the word that we use for summer camp or camp today. Two Hebrew words are used to describe the positioning of the Israelites around the Mishkan. They are mineged, which means across from or opposite or next to, versus saviv, which means surrounding. These are opposing directions that are used to describe where we are according to others. So I asked the questions, why do we need both? We need to feel attracted and close to something important to us. At the same time, sometimes we need to feel next to or adjacent or a little bit separate. It's all about relationship. Relationships change, they grow as we grow. And what a great message to end our series of Sweet Tastes of Torah. For I pray that our relationship, not just with each other, will change and grow and be strengthened, but also our relationship with Torah will change and grow and be strengthened over time. So I hope that you have enjoyed these cooking lessons, these sweet tastes of Torah, as an opportunity to strengthen your relationship with Torah. And I look forward to continuing that relationship in the days ahead. So today we are going to make something that reminds me of camp, s'mores. But not just any s'mores. We're going to make a s'mores pie. So I'm going to do this in a few steps, but it is a pretty easy recipe. I have 10 graham crackers in a bag, and I am going to smush them up. You could also do this in a blender, but I'm going to take the physical route. And I'm going to mix these graham crackers then into a half a cup of melted butter with a third cup of sugar. So we're going to get to making the crust. So we are going to dump these into the bowl. Sandy, granulated texture. I'm just going to get in there and use my hands. So I have my crust pressed into the pie dish, and I'm going to stick it in the 350-degree oven and bake it for 10 minutes. While it's baking, I'm going to prepare the chocolate filling that is going to cover the crust. So the first thing I'm going to do to make my filling is put a saucepan on the stove over medium heat and pour in a cup of milk. You can use heavy cream if you want it to be really rich, but I have milk in my fridge. And I am going to whisk this constantly so that it doesn't burn. And we're going to bring it to almost a boil, and then immediately remove it from the heat. While this is warming up. I have set aside a package of chocolate chips, about 12 ounces, with a 1/4 cup of butter that is cubed. And as soon as this milk is finished heating, we're gonna pour this over top the chocolate and mix it together, and it's going to make a pretty thick melted ganache. Okay, the milk is just about boiling, so I am going to pour it over top this bowl of chocolate and butter. And I am going to stir it around till the chocolate is melted, the butter is melted, and it's all smooth. Now we are ready to pour the chocolate sauce or ganache right into the pie pan. How do you open this? The pie is filled with chocolate, and I'm going to put this into the fridge for about 2 hours, and then we will finish it off with the marshmallow meringue topping. One last step, which is to create the marshmallow fluff on the top. In my saucepan, I have about 2 inches of simmering water, and in my mixing bowl, which I have put right on top of the saucepan to get a little heat on the bottom, are 2 egg whites, a 1/2 cup of sugar, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar. And I am just whisking until these egg whites get a little warm. So the egg whites are starting to get creamy. I am just going to move this over to the stand mixer and let it mix on high for about 4 minutes until I can get some frothy, stiff meringue peaks. So let's see what happens. Okay, we have homemade marshmallow fluff. That's good. So we are just going to spoon it on to our pie that has been in the fridge. I'm just going to spread this around and make some pretty swirls. Leave a little bit of chocolate on the edge so you can see what's underneath. And if you're able to, if you have a kitchen torch, I do not. I'm gonna see if this works with my lighter. We're just gonna toast the top of it. You don't wanna put this under the broiler because what will happen is the chocolate ganache in the middle will melt. And as I do so, I am just going to say farewell from what has been a fun and meaningful project from my house to yours, to share this Parashah pantry with you. So let us continue to strengthen, build, and grow our connection to Torah in creative ways. I will see you soon. Shabbat Shalom.
Sweet as honey.